Have I ever had a relationship with any corrections officers? No pun intended, but I've seen every angle there is with staff relationships with inmates. I've seen COs give up careers right before they got their pension, had babies, left their husbands just to have an inmate waiting and start a whole family and just move on in life with them. I've seen them where they're bringing in dope and drugs, and this is just a regular lady from the suburbs, middle class. Now she's a gangster bringing in phones, K2, all for the love of this man. I've also seen the dark side of it where officers don't like, where they almost claim it as these are our women, right? And they don't understand how this piece of shit inmate can be talking to any type of officer, and they will beat that dude, ship him somewhere else out of jealousy and insecurities. I've seen affairs where a lady was literally having an affair with an inmate in the cell, and officers knew about it because they were all hooking up with her, and the only person that didn't know about it was the officer's husband. However, my situation was a little different. All those horror stories, mine was the opposite. I grew up taught not the manipulation tactics. I'm too smooth for that. I don't like that. I'm not gonna have somebody bring in all this dope or phones or whatever it is, because that energy, I don't need that in my life. I don't. I just wanted some comfort. And there was a nurse, and her and I became tight for this simple reason. In Florida, they call it gunning, and it's rampant. And it's when an inmate is a predator and he cannot have any control of his impulse, and he'll see a female officer, guard, nurse, could be a male, and he'll take out his thing and start yanking it, gunning it towards her. Well, that's complete disrespect towards her and any inmate in the vicinity. They can get sniped in the process. So I was in confinement going to medical, and they put like the black boxes on your hands when you're waiting without any officer there to escort you when you're already sitting down. He's like watching multiple inmates. And the black box thing is like a clip that goes on top of your handcuffs, so you can't even move your wrist to even dislocate your thumb to get out of the cuffs. And I'm sitting there waiting on the CO and waiting on the nurse to give me my like TB test shot, and I hear like the slapping noise. And I'm like, no fucking way. I look over, and he's over there with a full clip, just sniping her. So I was already just so angry from being in confinement. Then this is happening. So I start trying to headbutt him, and just trying to stay away from the weapon in hand, kicking, and my arms are like this. So we get into it, maybe a 30-second tussle, and he's like, but I'm headbutting him, trying to kick him and hit him with my fucking black box. I was so angry that this piece of shit did this. And the officer comes over, sprays us, slams us on the ground. My hand, it wasn't hard, literally. I mean, my hands are in a black box, and drags us away. He takes me back, lets me shower off. Once they realized what I did, they were like, hey, thank you, we appreciate that, right? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Y'all beat the fuck out of me and sprayed me and with the OC gas, fucking barely see out my eye. I think one officer broke one of my ribs. They let me clean up, shower, all that stuff. At least they didn't put me in the shower like they did him and spray him until he fell in the hot, scalding water. So while I'm in confinement, she would come by and check on the inmates, and she would come take sick calls and stuff, and she would come say hi to me. We talk a little bit. So at first it was kind of a joke because everybody was like, hey man, this dude here killed a sniper, man, with his bare hands. It was like a joke, right? But she really was so happy I did that for her. And I was so happy I did it for her because she was beautiful. She is beautiful, And I wrote a sick call, which is like a paper you give, and it goes to the officers, and then they turn it in. Sometimes that's how people get hit, because they call them to medical and they can plan around that. But I could give it directly to her, as she would come to my cell since it was, confinement. There was nowhere to go, 24/7 lockdown. I said something like a little poem on there. I said, the walls are white, the clothes are blue, but my heart has butterflies every time I see you. I think I need help. I'm sick in love with you. Something like that, real cute, right? She reads it, laughs. She shows the other officer. I was like, oh, I'm a dead man. They start laughing together. They move on. I get out of confinement. I'm just waiting for them to kill me now. I thought it would be funny at first, but then I was like, oh no, I just crossed the line and I'm gonna get killed. But at the same time, the fact that I beat up that predator for yanking his thing at her, I had a lot of leeway, I feel, after that. So I get out and they have a thing where you can get a job. Basically, you can be a houseman. Some dudes have lower custody and they can cut the yard where we work out and other things like that. I get a job as an orderly. Basically, I would, because I can't leave the gate, I can't leave the compound because of my custody. But I basically just would mop and sweep where she works and bring her little like wagons of supplies in. And turns out she got me the job. And it started off like, a little flirty, and she was laughing, and she was just real cool. And she started like showing me off to the other nurses, my tattoos and everything. And I was like, all right, this is getting kind of cool, dangerous, but hey, I've been locked up since I was 22 and a half. Hey, let's do it. I'm like 24, 25 now. So I remember going back to my cell, and my bunkie Catfish, he's talking to me, and he looks at me so disgusting. He's like, hey, you gonna get us some cell phones in here? What you got working? I go, nobody's bringing nothing in through there, because I guess the work camp brings in the supplies, and I grab it, through the gate after it gets checked, and I bring it to her. It's like a back gate, and they used to slide stuff through there, and whatever the dude that had the job previously, that's how he would get stuff on the compound. Nothing's going through there. You don't get it. I'm not doing that. You ain't gonna get her to bring nothing in. You walking around with her wagons, and you in love, man. She don't love you, bro. I said, Catfish, man, listen, bro, you don't know her like I know her, man. I'm not like that, bro, right? I'm so far gone in my mind that I think that for sure I'm in a full-on relationship. And he's so far gone in his bid, he's wondering why the fuck I'm even acting like anything exists. Hope, love, any of that. Bring that shit in and get it done, youngster. Who is right? Me? The young, naive dude that's in love? Or the old bitter dude that has already learned his lessons in life and has been scorned? Of course, me, period. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. So I started getting checked more as I went through, but I wasn't ever in my mind ever gonna have this woman bring in cell phones, any type of contraband. She was like 32, in the prime of her career, beautiful, and we really connected, and looking back, it's not like we never linked up afterwards. So it wasn't like I was just locked up so long that she was using her power to get this youngster, no. We really hit it off. She bring me books and everything like that. And I went through a lot of fights and had a lot of falling outs with people that were supposed to be my friends because I wouldn't bring it in. See, that's the difference between a friend and a co-defendant. Always remember that. A friend's gonna say, hey, bro, just enjoy it, bro. And if she's doing some slimy shit, or, she got a bad reputation, or I'm in danger, they'll tell you. But a co-defendant's always gonna be trying to say, hey, bring that dope in. Oh, you weak, bro. Da-da-da-da-da. That's the difference. A friend is someone that helps you get a job in life. A co-defendant is someone that helps you rob someone in life. Anyway, so, time was going on, and it was like maybe 3 or 4 months into our relationship. My birthday came up. She had food for me and everything. I mean, we were getting deep, and I'm seeing nothing but, oh, we're going to have a family, baby, all that. But you have to understand, hope is the most dangerous drug in prison there is, because it doesn't exist. As time went on, they had put a child molester in the dorm. And it was like I snapped right back out of this lovey-dovey shit. And, I caught a case. I sliced him across his face, marked him, razor tagged him up, taken to confinement, and they shipped me out of there. Ended up in Lake Butler. I remember before I left, she came there. And I had completely was like, I snapped out of that. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. That was like some honeymoon shit. Like, I didn't even care anymore. Just like how I didn't talk to my family for 3 or 4 years of my bid because I didn't want anything to do with the outside. I just snapped back into who I was and what I was trying to accomplish in life. And I felt that she would be a weakness. Another inmate guns or this or that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be over here having feelings for something that isn't reality. She comes up to me and says, I'll always love you. And she walks up and she's just like, I want to let you know something. I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh, congratulations, She's like, congratulations? She looked so disappointed, but I knew what she meant. So then that's